engine's going to start. Alright folks, welcome to day 2 at One Lonely Farmer's Place. Today we're going to go around, and doesn't he look awkward being interviewed? It's awesome. We're going to go around and we're going to show you all of his cool vehicles that he has here on the farm. Some vehicles, some tractors, and he's going to kind of give us a rundown on each one and what it's all about, and that's it, what the vehicle is and where it came from. Alright, let's go check it out. Okay, so this is a 1931 Model A Ford Coupe Deluxe, 5-window. This car has a little bit of history behind it. This was actually used in the Lindbergh trial when Charles Lindbergh's baby was kidnapped and murdered. This was a lawyer's car. And it was also used in the reenactment of the Lindbergh trial back in the 90s, late 80s. I purchased the car in Flemington, New Jersey back when I was 19 years old. I've had it ever since. And recently I decided to restore it. I didn't restore it to the original colors. I wanted it to be green. So there it is. It's green. These two vehicles I just purchased. There was a young lady down the road. She's only a couple years younger than I am, and she had these trucks and she just wanted to sell them. She's like, make me an offer. So I went down and I looked at them, and there was another fellow there that was looking at them also, and all he cared about was rat rods. And I hate the fact that they were going to cut these trucks into pieces to make a rat rod out of them. So I made my offer, and she said, okay, you can have them for that price. And the rest is history. They did not run. They had flat tires, and they're just awesome pieces of American history, American iron. This has a flathead V8 in it, and that one has the Stove Bolt 6. And a really unique thing about this one is it actually has Ford script tires on it from the original Ford. They were Firestones. Wow. So when Ford had tires made, he put his script on everything. These are original tires on this 41 Ford.
Wow. That's a 41 Ford,
yep.
And this one over here is
1937 Chevy. They are both the heavy-duty 1.5-ton truck.
Gotcha. And you're more of a Ford guy than a Chevy guy, is that right?
That is correct. I bleed green and I love Fords. So that's just the way it is. I know my viewers have seen this already, but yeah, this is the first antique car I bought. This is a 1925 Model T Ford, 4-door sedan. I got it in a bunch of pieces when I think it was still 18 when I bought this car. Don't know why I bought it, just wanted it. You know, it was one of those things. I didn't have any money, but I had somebody that was willing to lend me money, so I did. I did the world's worst restoration job on it, but it actually didn't turn out too god-awful bad. And for what it is, it's a lot of fun. When I do have it running, it is a lot of fun. And that's okay if you don't get that closed, it's fine. But you want to see the little motor they just got in there? I don't think you ever saw that.
What do we have under here?
It's a little 4-cylinder. Yeah, little 4-cylinder full of mouse crap and stuff, and this is the vacuum line for, I don't even know what that vacuum line's for, because this car has a hand crank windshield wiper. So what I did was to stop it, I took a wiring nut and wire nutted the thing shut. And that worked. But years later, I ended up purchasing well, you're going to have to walk to the front of this. And this also has a 4-cylinder, but this is a 1927 Chevy Coupe. If they call the Capital Coupe, it's in original condition. I don't know if you can get around there to the front of it or not, but this is a survivor of sorts, I would say. They made a lot of them. They weren't supposed to be rare, but you know, on a cool summer night, you can hear a Chevy rust.
Yeah.
That's what those cars were. They rusted and rotted away because they were wooden frame. This is all original. You can see the powder and post beetles have been in there, these little holes and stuff. That's kind of normal, but for the most part, this car had to have been stored inside for the majority of its life. You can see this is all wood. Everything is wood. It is a Fisher body, and they would build the wooden frames like they used to build carriages and for horse and carriages, and then they would just tack the tin to it with little tacks.
Nice.
And
that's what you're seeing right here.
Yep, and that is the original. So I do believe that the car originally was this green, and I'm sure it was, and it was painted sometime back in probably the 30s by the original owner. I am technically the third owner of this car. It never passed hands in the family. You know, the guy I bought it off of was his great uncle's car, and then it got passed down to his mother and then to him, and he never even saw the car, but I purchased it from him. It was truly a barn find. It was in an old dairy barn. It's tucked in the corner, and there it was. And it's just one of those things, you just have to have it. You can open the door in there, Josh, and you can see it's got the original mohair seats in it still today. It was never. I'm going to do a clear coat on the car, one of those matte finish, professionally done, just to seal everything that this car is in all its glory. Lock the rust in there and get it started, and then just drive it down the road because it's cool. It really is cool. And I don't know, is that open? Can you see the engine in there?
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah. Yep, it has the engine. I believe that's an air filter. It's got a weird air filter system to it. But it's a heated intake for efficiency. The really weird thing about these cars is they do have an oil pump in the engine, but it doesn't pump any oil up to the rocker arms and the valve cover. So what you do is there's 4 holes across the top. And you're not going to be able to see. Here, let me see if I can get a light on that for you. You can see what I'm talking about. Right here, there's 4 holes. And inside these, underneath the valve cover, there's felt that runs along, and it just dribbles a little bit of oil down onto the rocker arms in the top of the head. So in every 200 miles or so, you would just dribble some more oil down in there, and you were good to go for another couple hundred miles. And these things were so awesome, and they leaked so much oil that they had catcher pans for them inside here. So they called them splash aprons, but they had a dual purpose: to catch the oil on the bottom side and to keep the water from coming up and shorten out the tiny little distributor cap that's there.
Cool. And we call that long life tractor preservative right
That's
there.
correct. Yeah, long life tractor preservative. That should bottle that stuff.
It's tight quarters in here.
It
I
is.
don't need my hat. My hat kind of looks like a pirate hat today.
But I was fortunate enough a couple of weeks back, that's about a month ago, I got a pair, and they are an actual pair of 1927 New Jersey plates, which is probably a rarer find than this car. Awesome. And I was just thrilled to death. Not only did I get 27s, but I got 41s for that 41 Ford truck.
We're pulling out a John Deere Model 60. It's a 1953 model. He's going to let me drive it.
All right, so we're going to start it up here, make sure this is your hand clutch, okay?
All right.
This is the go and stop part of the tractor. You have brakes on either side.
Okay.
So they're independent, and I will show you how to run it. And before I stick you behind the wheel, there is no power steering, but you have you got to do the tractor dance on these. You got to stand on the starter. All right.
Well, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you enjoyed seeing some of Wes's toys here at One Lonely Farmer's Place.
Just an awesome guy. Check out his channel. There'll be a link right up here if you can go check him out. He works on tractors, works on cars, works on trucks. He's just always forever doing something farming. It's the real world. It's real life farming, and it's awesome. We appreciate him having us.
Country life is wild and a dream, and it's becoming a part of me, alright. Woo!
They didn't make this car for Stoney Ridge Farmers.